So, Spirit, today I'm looking at the book now, and I have a note there to say, what is 5D? I'd like to go through that, please, because I feel like people are talking about it a lot, and I don't know if I can understand. I actually don't, they don't necessarily say what is a 5D. But what I remember, Father, is I think I did ask this question. You said something about in the 5D, and I was like, what is the 5D? And you said you live in the 5D. And I was like, I live in the 5D. And I was like, I remember I asked you, what does it mean? Like, I don't remember if I said, what does it mean? But I remember you saying to me, or did I ask about the 3D? And then you were showing me, you were trying to show me how in the 3D I would be not able to see certain things or not be able to have certain viewpoints. But in the 5D, where I was living already, I'm able to do certain things. I was able to do, for instance, when you're in a 5D, I could see, if I wanted to, what's coming behind me. As in, like, I could have in my mind, a clear picture of who's coming behind me. In the 5D, I could see you. Whenever you said something and you smiled, when I walked away from you, you would I would leave you doing something, but then you would be smiling at me, or what you just said to me, or what I just said to you. I was able to see you, even though I was facing away from you. Like in the 5D, I was able to see what is coming in front of me or where I'm going and what is coming behind me. I had a vision perception of my whole environment, isn't like not just the front view, but the back view, the side view, and I mean, even the side views. And I also had, I could sense, um, again, I could sense if I wanted to something that was not in my vicinity. I could sense, for instance, that when Imposter Goddess sister was visiting with mother, I could sense that there was someone outside. There was someone she was talking to outside. Even though she was inside the house, I could sort of like sense and see, not just sense it, but see a person, Uncle Olman, that is, trying to peek in and hide behind a wall outside. This is why I went and projected myself outside and watched him and watched her talking to each other through the window. I could do something like that. In the 5D, you and mother and myself, but more specifically you and mother, used to talk mentally, like telepathically. So even myself, I never used to use it when I was growing up, but I used it a lot when I was a child. Like if I didn't have words to explain what I saw, like when I saw the demon behind Imposter Goddess Sister, I could just give you a mental picture of what I saw, what made me scared and have me running away. I could just give you a picture of the scene and not necessarily like just what I saw, like a short snippet, but also context of mother did this and did that, and this woman did this, right? Um, I could do that, and I could also so that's how I understand the 5D. That it seems like the 5D, which is a spiritual world, is already in a 5D mode. The ability to see things, hear things, um, communicate, feel things. It's like your senses are heightened, more advanced. Um, the one thing that sticks out for me is the ability to be able to have a view of what is happening around you. I don't know if it was just me who could do that. The other thing that I remember was, I guess, certain things that I could do were more on my program level. That is, when you're in a 5D, you're going to operate more on your program level. That is, you're going to operate more on your all the functionality that you have as a program. You're going to be able to fully access those powers. You're going to be able to, like, I could do things like be in multiple places at the same time. I could go back in the future. I mean, in the past, then I could go in the future. And I think I could also go sideways as well. Not necessarily the future, whatever. I could go, I don't know what it looks like I'm going sideways. Perhaps in other dimensions of a specific, let's say a specific time frame. I can go different dimensions of a specific time frame. So that was me in the 5D environment called spiritual world, being able to see those things, be those things, do those things, even though I didn't understand what was special about it until I had to come to earth and learn about it. So this is why I'm doing this recording, because I wanted to understand what is the difference between 3D and 5D. And what I've understood initially here on this planet about 5D, okay. I remember this, Father. Thank you. So I'm going back to my memory of when I think it was at work, we were doing this kind of team building or maybe year-end function kind of thing. And they had just opened a 3D movie theater here. And the first 5D, the first 5D movie theater. And I remember talking to Father. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to this 5D movie theater. I'm finally going to see 5D. Father is like, that's not 5D. he was laughing. They always laughed at me. Anyway, they were always laughing. It's like, that's not 5D. Or was it a 3D? Is it 3D or 5D? Something like that. But he said it's not. I think it is called 5D. Um, and I was like, it's not 5D. He's like, no, that's not 5D. Um, he said to me, you're going to remember what it was, or you must remember what you lived like, where you come from. That is 5D. So you confirmed it, Father, for me twice. And that's what I've always thought whenever I came to this realization of people talking about, we are in the 5D, we are in the 5D. When you're in the 5D, and I'm like, no, this is not 5D. There's no way this can be a 5D. You cannot be able to be in 5D in this environment, right? It's a total environment upgrade. It's not um, a one person sees 5D kind of a thing. Okay, am I right, Father? Would I be able to be in a 5D version of it in a 3D? Is an individual capable of being in a 5D mode? I'm getting already that the environment has to support it. So they are only within that upgrade would you be able to be in a 5D. Yes, because of that enables a different level of vibration, which enables the environment to give you access to more functionality of your environment and of your program. Okay, so that's what it is. So everyone else talking about we're already in the 5D, and I was like, no, we're not in a 5D. I cannot believe that this is 5D, right? And I remember even that 5D movie theater. Father was like, no, that's not 5D. Um, and he was laughing actually. He laughed like a belly laugh, like ha ha ha. That's not 5D. I was like, but they say it's 5D. Oh yeah, I was standing in front of the theater, right? And like looking at the way they wrote 5D, what. And I was like, 5D, I wonder what it's like. Like I was so excited to go in, right? And father's like, nah, that's not 5D. They come through, right? My father and my brothers, as always. And they're like, they are laughing. And father's like, ha ha ha, that's not 5D. It's like, but they say it's 5D. It's like, no, that's not 5D. It's like you're going to remember where you come from. And that is 5D. And I was like, oh, okay. I'll see what I see then. And then I went in that movie, and basically they have like these chairs. Was it a 5D or 3D movie? Maybe they said 3D, and I'm thinking 5D. So even this whole thing of people, even the what is it that these glasses that people wear, right? That's I don't know what they say they are showing them. I haven't really um I don't remember what they call it. That's also not 5D. 5D is being able to even see everything around you. Like even your back, you're able to see at your back. I remember father saying to me, okay, stand over there, and I stand over there. Look on the other look the other direction. I did, and I was like, and he's like, can you see me? And I was like, yeah, I can see you, right? And he's like, yeah, that's essentially what 5D is gonna look like. It looks like. And I was like, but I can always see you like that. He's like, don't worry. You'll understand when you get to heaven. Earth, I mean. So that's like the example that he gave me. He said to me, I must stand and look the other way. And he stood behind me and he's like, can you see me? And I was like, of course I can see you. Like, I mean, why are you even asking that question? It's like, of course I can see you. And he's like, yeah, that's essentially what 5D is about. But you're gonna learn more about it when you get to Earth. And I was like, okay. I didn't understand at the time that there's such a huge difference in the view of what is in the spirit world. What I have learned that where I come from was a spirit world, and where I am now is a physical world. I had no idea that there was such a difference, or even such a difference in terms of existence, that there's two different environments. You have a spiritual world and you have a physical world, and they exist in such a way that one has some more functionality than the other. So when people talk about 5D, I always felt like there's something that triggered me inside to say, nah, no, 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 it can't be 5D. If I remember 5D, you should be able to see everything around you. You should be able to have such a perception, strong perception of your environment, of view of your environment, that nothing can sneak up on you. You know what's coming from the front, you know what's coming from the back, your sides, everything. That's what it looks like. That's what it feels like. It's like when you're walking, forward, you can already see someone is coming behind you. You don't even like get unless that person is coming with some sort of in uh bad intentions, you're gonna even sense that. You're gonna know something is wrong. That person is coming, is not a right person, you know. And I used to take those things for granted in when I was still in the spiritual world, in the 5D. And I think the people who've been in the spiritual world as well, who've lived there and came here for whatever mission they came here for, or whatever purpose and destiny that they came here for, would remember the same thing, that they used to have this type of access to an environment where you're able to see everything. And this is what I'm understanding as well, that your program will be able to basically, and that sounds like it was a normal thing. However, I don't know if everybody could. I don't think so. If everybody could travel the way I traveled, in a sense of, there must be some other programs who can do something similar. That's what I'm getting. But the way I could travel back and forth and on sites and whatnot, anywhere I wanted, is more specific to my program, defragmentation, that is. But I'm getting that in that environment, you will be more your program level living than you would be in your physical. In your physical, you're coming here to learn those things, to learn about what program you have. I mean, as a program, what functionality you have, what powers you have, and what they look like in the physical as well. How do you use those powers that you have in the spiritual, that is as a program, as a spiritual program? How do you use that as a physical program, I mean, how do you I keep saying physical problem. It's not the first time, but as a physical program, how do you access those gifts in the physical and apply them in such a way that they um enhance or your life in this environment, enhance the environment itself? That is, you're not coming in here and shooting up things and burning up things, right? You're using them to the purpose of what they're supposed to be used as in the physical, though. You have to learn to translate your spiritual functionality into physical functionality in the best way that it should be used. And also, you're going to have to, I'm understanding that, because what I'm going through is I keep learning about some of the things that I normally do, or I thought I just do because I do them. They're actually a functionality in my program. They're actually a power for me in a program level. And or yeah, it's a functionality that I have, meaning it's a power that I have. I'm able, my when we say power, we mean your program has the power or the functionality to do this and this and this and that. That's basically it. And those are your, people sometimes call them spiritual gifts, right? That is your program gifts, right? And that's what I'm understanding about the 5D. That's what I understood about the 5D. So Father confirmed me twice, I guess, with this one. And I'll probably remember another time when he confirmed me about the 5D. And this is the reason why I'm getting that this is the reason why this environment is not able to move into, Father, am I getting right? You're not able to move to 5G This is the reason why you're not able to move to 5G, because the environment is not supportive of that kind of um, technology. Because I heard somewhere and I was like, and I dropped that subject because I was not talking about 5D at the time. Because I said to Father, I had a discipline. It's like, wait, are you telling me that all these 5Ds are essentially equals to 5Gs in the physical environment? It's like 5D and 5G. 5D is a spiritual world environment. 5G is a physical world environment. So that's a program as well. That's a functionality. So do we need to upgrade first to 5? Is that what you meant? Okay. So wow. How you said it means something different what you're saying now. Is that what you meant? Seriously? So okay. When I was doing 5 4 not 5 3G at work in the telecoms company, um the person who was working with me, which I believe was Father, said to me, when they need to move to 5G, they're gonna need the people who implemented 3G before. They're gonna need the people who, he didn't say person, he said people. And I was like, oh, okay, so it's this who was working on 3G at the time. I didn't really think about it, but now that I'm thinking about it, I was the only person who had this project to implement 3G at the time. Like a lot of people were doing it and they would get stuck and then they would give it to somebody else, they would get stuck, and they dumped it on my table, obviously, as always, because that's what Uncle Omen wanted for me to look at it, to do it. And this is where now I'm getting assistance from Father all the way. This Father's coming up as this man from Germany who's helping me to use the system, to understand what the systems that we're going to implement, how they would work and how they should be implemented. You know, there's protocols and all of those things, and the ISOs and many things that were coming into play that I needed to go into some sort of, like, not some sort of, it was a research. It took me a long time to get to the point where my project got implemented as the first 3G project in the world, because our company was the first to implement a working network on 3G. And yeah, if I know someone will be like, oh, we can dispute that, whatever. Everybody else was trying it, everybody else in the world was trying it. But when we implemented it, obviously what is it, AT&T also, I believe my CEO received a call from AT&T, from other telcos as well, to congratulate them on the fact that we managed to successfully implement the first working network, right, on 3G. And now Father's like, I'm like, Father, is that what you meant when you said the people who are going to implement this 3G are going to be needed and necessary to be able to move to 5G? And I'm coming with an upgrade. Isn't that ironic? I'm coming with an upgrade. So, Father, basically, essentially, what you're saying is this environment is a physical environment. You want to upgrade it to 5D as a physical environment. I'm understanding. So, there's not going to be a difference between the spirit world and the physical world in terms of how we move, how we work. And hmm, so what would be the point of having a physical world going forward? What would be the point of coming to the physical world to train, to learn, to become? Would What I'm asking basically is, if the spirit world is 5D and there's a plan to move this environment, okay, hmm, am I getting this right? Are you essentially saying, okay, so Earth is a first world to have an interface to the spirit world. And you wanted to create this physical worlds for people to live in there, both spiritually and physically. Ah, so the people who are in heaven would have an option as well to come and live on physical worlds if they wanted to. But the worlds will be spiritually linked to the spiritual world still via the interface called sacred timeline track. Ah, so Earth is the first only world to do this. So we needed to upgrade to be aligned. So Earth itself has to align to the spirit of its spirit in the spiritual world, because there's somewhere where we said something about every program is going to have to align, right? Like, not every program, I mean every celestial body, every celestial body in the universe will need to align to the spirit world. That every world also has to ascend spiritually. Earth has to ascend spiritually and be on par with other worlds and the rest of the universe. So the rest of the universe might be on 5D. Some universe worlds might be on 5D, but they just don't have the interface to spirit world. But with Earth, they have the interface to spirit world, but they need to upgrade to 5D. Ah. And as a result, so you're kind of like your heaven and earth will still be here, or you're moving. Okay, so I'm not sure if I'm understanding. It's like the people who died, the programs who died, who are living in the spiritual world, are happy to be there, but they would also don't mind to be in a physical world, provided they have the power to be in this like the worlds that I come from. Oh, okay, okay. So where I come from, I could also do the same thing as I was doing in the spiritual world. I also had the same type of access to my functionality. I could have those powers activated in the spiritual world. There's a world where I come from where we we could do people were able to access their gifts and do everything they needed to do with their gifts in the physical world. So that's essentially what Father is saying. But what is the difference with Earth is that they would be already a little bit like ahead, in a sense that they already have an interface to the spiritual world. So it's not going to be a 5D Earth existing there on the side, right? And also still needing to spiritually connect with individuals, and the Earth itself spiritually connecting the way we are trying to align right now, right? But we are aligning because of we have at least this interface that gives us a an assistance to align easier to the spirit world, where when we play the game, we are able to be assisted by Father and Mother in the spiritual world to move about in a way that we could still ascend spiritually. Okay, so Earth is a so this is the reason why we need to upgrade on Earth in order for us to be in par. Not only in we are already in aligned. I mean, the Earth already is, we are interfaced, connection is there, but we need to start aligning the spirit program of Earth with the spirit world, and also align the spirit of the humans and the beings on Earth to align to the spirit world. Therefore, we have this beautiful connection where all this is not only allowing for more functionality to come onto Earth, for people to live as their programs on Earth and learn much easier in terms of going through their paths. It will be much more easier because the environment will enable certain things, right? You would see it as a program and you would see it as a physical being. It would be seamless. It would be integrated, your functionality, that is. And that's what you need in terms of us aligning, us waking up, us starting to vibrate higher, so that the 5D high vibration upgrade can go through without. So what happens with the individuals who are not high vibrational, who are not waking up to the fact that their programs they'll find it difficult to live in a high vibrational environment. They'll live in the shadows of the world. I don't know if that's the vision was correct. It could have been a fake vision or a fake dream. I don't trust the dreams or visions that has my sister in it. But in this vision, what I saw was a split. There was a point in on earth where I saw a split, where there was the light side and the dark side. However, the light side kept getting bigger and bigger, like almost starting to cover the whole earth. And then in the end, there were like a few individuals who are still left on the dark side. That is, People from the light side could walk into the dark side easily, but people from the dark side couldn't walk into the light side. I remember seeing that. I remember seeing me and my counterparts going back and forth. We were doing work between the two worlds. We would work in, I think my counterpart, one of my counterpart had a company or something like that in the dark world, in the dark side of the world. And he used to go there and work there. He doesn't mind the environment. We also didn't mind it. But the people who we like, it's like light people, or not light people, man. High vibrational beings are able to enter into uh, the shadowed environment, right? But the shadowed people, or the dark, the not the shadowed, the low vibrational people couldn't, they could enter the light world, but they can't sustain, they can't live there, they can't stand there under that light for too long. They can go in, maybe we would work. Like, I remember this lady who chose to live in the shadowed side. She was working on herself, obviously, but what she did was she sometimes needed to, I don't know, her job required her to go to a side of the light side, like the light side of the world, and she would do that. She could be able to do that because she was the only one in that environment, or one of the few people who managed to, even though they were still kind of low vibrational, but she still managed to be in that environment long enough to do some business and then come back, right? And I remember talking to her, and she's like, no, but I'm working on myself. I think it's soon enough I'll be able to also like move over, right? Uh, Her boyfriend, I think, was actually on the light side or something like that. Lived there, that is. I remember there was going to be, I don't know how, but that vision is actually separate from the other vision that I saw where my sister is. Now I remember now. So we were coming in and out of the shadowed world and the light world because we had business in both sides. Not business as in like business, but we had work, spiritual work to be doing in different environments. And it was very, very bright on earth. I remember seeing a very and popular place, a CBD, very, very bright. And if you go there today, it's not like that. But I remember seeing it, and I'm like, it's like there was just a little bit of the world where, you know, the light still needed to come through. And it wasn't because of the environment. It's like, as the upgrade happens, it's gonna start splitting this world in such a way that those who are more shadowed, or not shadowed, but those who are uh, low vibrational will probably stick to environments where the upgrade hasn't happened yet, and those who are high vibrational, whether they are light or dark people, will be able to maintain themselves in the light. I remember that. I remember seeing that vision, and we were, yeah. Oh, this is where I remember in the vision, I see my sister, you know, as a viewer, but I see myself not even noticing her. Like, she was trying to gain my attention, but I couldn't even see her. She was in the shadow side of the world, and she's trying very hard to. They are very close to me. It was her and someone else. They're trying to talk to me, but I don't see them because I asked. I remember asking while I was at the farm that I don't want to be able to perceive these people in the future. I don't want to see them. I don't want to hear them. I don't want to smell them, and I don't want the people that are around me or with me to be able to perceive them. I don't want somebody else telling me, oh, yeah, your sister's calling you or someone like that. No. And I remember that I think you're going to make that happen for me. Like, I don't want to see any of these people, any of these 144s. I don't want to see them. And I don't want them to be involved with anyone who's near me, anyone who's part of my community. So that I remember having that vision. I remember that vision. And I also, there's another part that I remember where this is another part. I don't think it's part of this, but I remember the split between the light side of earth, and we are still on earth, the light side of earth and the shaded side of earth. And anyone who could maintain it could walk in between the different sides. Most people who could maintain it were light people, but they didn't seem to like to go into the shadow world. Only certain people would go. And those who were in the shadow world, some people or some businesses were in the shadow world, people could go there and work there just like normal, but go back as if they wanted to go back into, let's say, at night. It's like there was still a lot of people who would, like in the afternoon, like after work, they would be, leaving their jobs from the shadow world, crossing over to the light world to go home. And same thing as people who worked in the light world would cross back and go back into the shadow side of the world. It was happening, it was working, there was no problem. And the people were working on themselves to to align and to get rid of their demons, and a lot of people managed to do it. A lot of people managed to do it, but there were some who still needed to have a space in the shadow. And but I remember that the upgrade happens to such a degree that it's only a few, and I see my sister and Uncle Omen, obviously, and I think my grandmother, who still need that shadowed world. And I remember, I think you were going to give them some sort of a choice or something like that. They still were, then they were not doing it because of they were stubborn. They were refusing to do what they needed to do because of their egos. They refused to align with you, essentially. That's the only difference. Those were the three. So the oh please. And I remember saying we shouldn't be keeping this sort of energy just because of the three of them. If they need to be gone, they should be gone. And I think one of them is gonna drop them. I think my sister's gonna be like, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna, like, we've lost. It's just a flag. She was like, you can see we've lost. We're the only one. There were at some stage there were like a couple of people who were still with them, but then they started sneaking out and working on themselves and moving back into the light, right? But eventually it's like these three or four people, like a few people who were like, my sister was probably going to dump them, and it's like, this can't work. You can see we've lost. Let's just cash in our chips and do what needs to be done. And the two people were refusing. The someone was with them, but the two people were refusing, and eventually I think it was just one left. And I kept saying we cannot be keeping this world behind because of these few people. But I think everybody's gonna make it. Eventually, the last person will have to do what they have to do. Because I mean, no one is gonna wait for them. And now I understand when you said to me, they will not be able to implement 5G because they will need the people who implemented 3G to come and implement, to help them implement 5 5G. I see. So 5D is not this. The people who are talking about this 5D, oh, we are in the 5D. You know, us who are in the 5D, there's no such a thing. It's an environmental change. It's much as it's a person, it's an environmental change in a sense that your environment has to change in order for you to be able to access far much more than you're accessing now in terms of functionality. Your functionality is there, but you have to remember it, right? You have to remember what your functional. You're here to not only remember it, you're also here to learn it. Some of it you probably don't know what you can do, but this physical world is where you're gonna find out destiny. You're a defragmentation tool, and this is what a defragmentation tool does, and these are the things that it can do. You know, you'll discover each and every one of them. This is why you're here. You're gonna have to discover all that about yourself. This is why you have to be aligned in order for you to be assisted, to show you how you pick up your gifts, how you pick up what gifts you have. This is why you have to be on that path, because that path, they have different things set up for you to say, now you're going to learn about this functionality in you. Now you're going to learn about this function. I'm also doing that as I sit here and record. I'm realizing, oh, so my upgrade, my my defragmentation coming with the upgrade, because I have upgrade as part of my defragmentation. That functionality is a power that I have. I'm able to implement an upgrade as a defragmentation, and I never understood it. I said to Father, what does that mean? Because I thought I was building a block back, and he showed me one time. It's like, you're not just going to be building that block back to its original state. You're going to be building it back to its original, not necessarily original state, but an upgraded version of its original state. That is, I'm giving you new coding. I'm going to store in. He said, no, you got plenty of power to actually carry an upgrade. He's like, oh, because I said to Father, but can I do that? Isn't that a big job? It's like, you have a lot of space to be upgrade is nothing. You have a lot of space to carry this energy. You have a lot of space to carry this functionality. That's what he said. It's like, nah, that's nothing actually. You have a lot of space. You have a lot of energy. You have a lot of, your program has a lot of power to be able to implement it. So when I'm building that block, what I'm understanding, what I understood, and I never discussed this, is that I'll be upgrading the block from its what it used to be in the original state, right? In its solid state before, but then the new and the new version of its original state. That's what I'll be doing, block by block by block by block. And essentially, as I'm done, the whole program or the whole earth should be able to be in a solid state of a new version. So if you were here as version whatever you are, and Father has given you a new version, that's what I'm doing. When I'm defragmenting this environment, I'm bringing in that new functionality to say, okay, this is your solid state as before, and then this is your solid state going forward. This is what you're working with going forward, so that you're ready. This is why you need to be high vibrational, because that solid state, the new solid state, you're only getting it if you're able to handle the vibration that it requires, which is high vibration. You cannot handle that upgrade if you are low. That is, you cannot handle that data if you don't have space. So you need to expand yourself to be able to carry that light that we have to upgrade you to. That functionality, you probably are going to get more powers, or much more advanced powers, or if you were like fast, you're going to be much faster, things like that. So you need to be able to allow yourself to be in an environment that is high vibrational, and to also be in a state of high vibrational, so that you can receive the upgrade without any sort of like pain or pulling too much of yourself, by just doing the work, by just making sure that you drop the stuff, that the dirty stuff, the shit that you're not supposed to be having in the first place, which are not yours. The pain, the anger, the guilt, they put you in some state and then they make you guilty for it, feel guilty for it. Someone is trying to do that shit as I sit here. She did something and then she's trying to make me guilty for it. And I'm like, no, universe, take care of her, please. Reverse this energy. People who are carrying trauma, people who are carrying, like, not guilt, man. When people put you in a state of shame, you need to drop that. You don't have to be shameful for anything. Drop all those things. Things have happened to you. You need to learn to work on them. Drop the shames. Drop all these low vibrational stuff. And as you drop each and every one of them, you make space for light. You make space for high vibration. That light that comes in when you drop that darkness, the light comes in, you vibrate higher. You drop another ego, the light comes in, you vibrate much higher. As you do that, you become more and more high vibrational. And that high vibration and that light that is coming in, it's a new light. It's a 5D light. Allow it to come in so that you're ready. When the world starts transitioning into it, you're going to see it. You're going to feel it. You're going to be like, you know what? I don't like going to that town because it's too bright for me. I haven't yet worked on myself like that. But I think I can sustain it a little bit. And you would maybe go to a party or something like that and be like, you know what? These people are too bright for me, but I can stay here. Let me try to stay here. But if you're so low vibrational, you won't be able to sustain for too long. You'll probably go to the party for like an hour and be like, I'm out. I still need to do a lot of work. But it's not going to be a big deal. It feels like it's a very smooth transition. It can be smooth or it can be difficult, and it's all up to you. It's all up to you. Like I said, no one is here to force anybody. Nobody here is here to beg anybody. Nobody here is here to convince anyone. It's an upgrade. You either in or you're out. You're either in the light or you're in the dark. And it happens for both. Dark and light. That is, if you're a dark program, you have to be high vibrational. If you're a light program, you have to be high vibrational. Keep your darkness. Do your dark shit if you want to do your dark shit, but be high vibrational about it. That's all that there is, and it doesn't matter. I mean, I have a dark side of myself, right? And I speak a dark language. Sometimes I curse and do all that. And I'm still here. I'm trying to vibrate higher. I'm trying to keep my vibration high, and I'm even doing the upgrade itself and defragmenting. I'm still a dark program on the one side, and I'm also a light program on the other side, and I'm doing it seamlessly. It can be done. There's no such a thing that there's a dark person, she's a bad person. No, you're a dark person, just that. This good or bad thing is, like I was giving an example. If cut is a dark program, would you like cut not to do their job when you want to cut? Would you like for cut to say, when you say cut this out and paste it I want to go and paste it somewhere? Would you be happy if cut didn't do that? You won't. If copy was also, I think copy is actually a light program, it would be a light. But that's the stuff that copy will have to discover for themselves. I don't know. I'm just figuring, like imagining what it could be, right? So things like that. So it's a beautiful thing. The more I discover about this, the more I realize how beautiful and wonderful this is. But people who are putting some weirdest crap there sometimes are making people feel a little bit too overwhelmed with this whole 5D. Hey, we are in us who are in the 5D. They're talking shit like that. And they don't even understand what 5D means. 5D is essentially more or less what you get in the spiritual world. And it's going to be part of this world going forward. And yes, there are planets already like that. I come from one of those planets. Before when I left heaven, I grew up in other places. I existed in other places before I came here for training. And here I am. I'm probably still training for something. I get the feeling that when I leave here, I'm probably going elsewhere. Can I get a break, please? I'm lazy. You know, next time when they say there's a mission, I'm not raising my hand again until after I don't know how many how many years. I'm getting that I'm gonna be bored. But it's like, ah, you're gonna be bored soon. But I need a break. I really truly need a break. This person, I need to go and check my laundry. I have to do laundry now. And I don't know if I need, is there anything else? Let me not rush it. And I'm gonna pause now and then come back and see if I can continue. So as I was busy dealing with the laundry, and I'm asking Father now when I'm about to come back to say if there's anything I'm forgetting. And he's like, try to give a, like a description of what it feels like what it actually feels like to have that kind of a dimension. Yeah, it's actually called a dimension. Like you have, so what Father used to do, right? I would be like talking to him about something, and I would say something, or he would say something to me, and I would think something else, or I would say something else, and he would find it funny, but he wouldn't show me. And as I'm leaving, and let's say he's at my back, I would have a view of him being funny, as in like, how do you put it? Smiling. I would even go as far as saying smirking at me. It's like, you think, you know what you know. You have no idea, kind of a thing. Yeah. So I remember one time when I found him in his office. He had two of my counterparts on stretchers. They were like in sleep mode, something like that. Not sleep mode, but they were not like functional. Their avatars were just sitting on this type of a stretcher, kind of like. And one of the counterparts had his chest open, right? And it was my first time seeing, I think it was my first time seeing beings like me on a stretcher with their chest open. And I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm working on your counterparts. I'm like, my counterparts? He's like, yeah, these are your counterparts. And I'm like, okay, let me go and see, right? He wants to stop me, but he just allowed me to just go through. Like, I kind of like disturb him, but he doesn't tell you, no, you can't see this, no, you can't watch this or something. I just go in and go and see what this my something is, right? And I'm looking at these counterparts. I'm looking at their faces. I'm looking at this avatar basically on there. But then I get to go to look at their faces, and I'm like, my goodness, he has a beautiful face, right? This is the first counterpart. I don't think I even used the beautiful, or maybe I used pretty or something like that. But I think I said beautiful. And I was like, I think I asked him, and he said something like, he's maybe he said something like he's giving them upgrades or something like that. And I think he indicated that he was going to do something with me as well. The same thing with me. Um, and then I go and look at another counterpart because there's two of them. The other one is not open on his chest. So I look at this one, and then I go to his face again, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this one is also beautiful. Like, they're very different, but they're beautiful people. And then I'm like, I'm not even sure which one is more beautiful. They're like, very beautiful people. Father's smiling, right? And I'm not seeing him smile. Like, I'm not looking at him, I'm looking at these people. But I can actually see also his face with a smile. He's busy with his own things, and then he's busy listening to me saying, "Oh, they're beautiful," and he's smiling. That's what it looks like. But then the thing that is kind of like also adds to the dimension of your environment is uh, I said to him, "Father, but do I need two?" Father's like, "Two? You're gonna need more than that." But now he is not saying it with his mouth, he's saying it in his mind. And I'm hearing him in my mind, him saying, "You think two is, you know, you think two is a lot, huh? You're gonna have more than this." So at the time, he's looking at me, but not opening his mouth, but saying something. And I'm not even looking at him, but I'm seeing him looking at me, saying something in his mind that I can hear. So it's like that perception, that dimension of even you being able to read his mind or read people's mind when they are not blocked to you is also part of a 5D type of environment. It's like communication between people and experiencing the environment as well as a person, as a being, is open. It's much more open. I get the feeling that you get to block it because sometimes when mother and father are talking to each other without when they don't want me to hear, I don't hear. But I'm kind of like looking at them as like, yeah, I know you're talking about me. What are you saying about me? But they don't do that often. They don't hide things often. There are things that I guess I wasn't ready or shouldn't have been open to listening to because I needed to only be aware of them when I get here on earth. So they would still communicate in what it is that they're talking about without me knowing because I needed to know only when I get here or find out when I get here. So your communication is open as far as you want it to be open. You can even get to the point where, like Father, when he shared to me his feelings of what it felt like to be him and existing in the first time, like what happens to him, how he feels when he is in darkness like that, swirling in darkness. I had that sense. It it was as if like he made me feel like it was as if like I was him. He could do that kind of projection for me to be like, this is what I feel like. This is what I went through. This is how I feel when I'm going through my awakening, or my not awakening, but my consciousness. When I become conscious of myself, this is what I was feeling. This is what I was thinking. This is what was going on in my mind. This is how I felt lost in this dark space. This is how as I felt lost in this is where my frustration becomes a question. This is how I feel when I feel like, why do I keep asking the same? He went, oh shoot, are you trying to get me to that point? He went around the environment asking the same question over and over. Oh, Father, I remember that. Over and over and over again. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? He went around asking that. I get the feeling that he dies. Not dies, but he goes away back into darkness. He created things, left, came back, found them there, right? Lived again, conscious again. He's conscious again, created something, left. This is the memory part you're talking about. This is where you're saying the energy that they are reading, the scientists are reading in that black dark matter is the memory. It's the memory of you, of the things that you, he comes in and out of consciousness. He comes in, he would come in and out of existence. He would come in and out of his consciousness. So every time he leaves, right, he would have created something, and a planet or something, but he doesn't remember. He needs to sit and remember again. Oh yeah, I remember I created this. I remember I created that. So he kept, the memory kept growing bigger and bigger as he created. Every time he existed, created more. He existed. So it wasn't like, so what about the 7 days of your creation of Earth at some stage? Is that even true? Because I see you in a different environment. So you come in and out of consciousness. Is that where you disappear to and I don't find you sometimes? Because sometimes Father has this disappearing act that he would do, and I would be like, where is he? I haven't seen my father in a while. Where's Father? And nobody answers you, by the way. Nobody says anything. Nobody says anything. And he never says where he was as well. Father, where? Ah, okay. He's at the service. He's spending time as this. He likes to take time off to go and just be just energy only, because we see him in a physical or in a form kind of a way we see each other now in the physical. He has that form in the spiritual world, but he likes to. I hear that I actually also felt like he goes there more often, while others go into the pool. He most likely goes to those servers and goes back to just being energy sometimes, like even further than servers. Just him being in energy, just floating there in that dark space. Okay. So, yeah, that's another dimension. I see you in these mountains still asking yourself, where am I? Where am I? But this time, you leave your brothers back. You're the only one who goes in and out. Your brothers are always there. It's like his 3 brothers are still existing. And he comes back. They're like, Elohim, you're back. You've been gone for a while this time. He kept going in and out of consciousness. And but his brothers, the things that he created, everything that he created, be it omnipresent, like his brothers are also still omnipresent. They are also roaming around, the 3 or 4 of them, around these things that they created together, in a sense of some are not, they're still not physical, these beings. They're very much omnipresent, but they're creating worlds, they're creating things. And then they come back, but Father is the one who goes and then comes back. And then he's like, who am I? So every time, first time, when he showed me, when he asked himself, who am I? There was nothing. But he kept going in and out of consciousness and in and out of existence. And every time he did that, he left something behind that he created. And I hear that it takes a long time. My father has been around since. There's no time. Since there's no time. Not since the beginning of time. Since there's no time. He's not time. He's not timed. You can't time him. That's what I'm understanding. It's like you can't say when he existed. He has no time. He could be just now. He could be just, in the history, in the past. He could be past, present, and future at the same time. Okay. So you can't exactly say he existed at this time. You don't know what that time is. There's no way. He doesn't work on the concept of time. That's what I'm understanding. So going back to the story I was telling about when he was saying to me, you think two is a lot. You're gonna have more, right? When he says that to me, I'm leaving his office. I'm leaving him in his office and I'm walking away as in like I'm going to do something else. But he's smirking behind me. He's sitting, laying on his backrest, like his chair's backrest, and he's like, you think two is a lot, you're gonna have more, right? But I see him. I see exactly the profile, the desk, how the office looks behind me with him in there having that smirk. He used to do that a lot with me because I would have like this ideas about things, and it would make him laugh because he would know that I'm gonna discover that what I'm thinking is how wrong I am, basically. Um, the other part was when he was telling me about this awakening, right? And he says, you're gonna have a we need to call when you awake, when you wake up, you have to call it something. And I'm like, you have to call it something. It's like, yeah. So what do you mean you have to what? Like what? I said, like what? And he's like, awakening. Oh no, he said a couple of words. Like he said one of them was the waking. I think that's what he says. He said. I said the waking. And I was like, but I'm just because I was like, what would you call it? Because I'm just waking up, right? What can you actually call it? It's like the waking. And then he said, when we said the other word that we played with. What was the other words that we played with, Father? I forgot. Please remind me. We said something to do with wake up. Uh, man, there was something similar to no. What he said to me before we started playing with words, he's like, he was convincing me, trying to convince me that we need a name for this me waking up thing. And I was like, but is it even necessary? It's like, yeah, but you see, your brother had one. Your brother's one was called enlightenment. I was like, enlightenment? Okay, so what are you gonna call mine then? Like awake? Oh, I think we also said awakened. And then he said, nah. And I said, nah, it doesn't sound right. And he said a couple of things. Some of them had nothing to do with like awakening per se. And then eventually he was like, what about the awakening? Like awakening. And I was like, awakening, awakening. And I'm playing with it like awakening, awakening. Nah, that doesn't sound right. And we had been playing around with words, right? And eventually I was like, nah, that doesn't. So Father's like, you know what? It's fine. I'll figure something out after saying the awakening. And I was like, okay. So I'm like awakening. When I'm waking away, I'm walking away from him. And I'm like awakening, awakening. And then I turn around. I was like, Father, just now the humans are gonna be playing with it and saying, I'm awakened, I'm awakened. And it's like, ha 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 ha. And we all laugh, right? Because the same way they played with brothers one, I said actually, Father, just now the humans. That's one of the reasons why I didn't want him to call it awakening. I was like, imagine when humans are going to play around, I mean, take it and run with it just like they did with enlightenment. Brothers one, enlightenment, then went and said, and go and say, awakening, awakening, awakening. So he's like, oh yeah. So we're laughing at it, right? But he still has this laugh of, and then he makes this smirk that he always does when he lets me think that what I'm thinking is what I'm thinking. He doesn't correct me. He's like, you're gonna find out when you get to earth that awakening is gonna be a thing, kind of a thing. Because my understanding was that it is still for me to awaken. This is why he said we need to call it something. So I'm getting that all the other people who've been talking about it have been talking about it from a perspective of the devil, Uncle Omen, stealing that blueprint and trying to play that scenario on earth before the time it. And I remember something about that. Father said, it's fine. It's almost like he was saying, it's gonna be fine. He would have kind of like, it's like Uncle Osman's gimmick would actually be the thing that would put or shine light into this. It's like his way of trying to steal it is going to actually be his way of making it popular before it even became a thing. And he would have actually, yeah, Father said something like he will use his energy to put you forward. He would use his energy to hype you up. Something like that. That's what he said. It's like, oh, so you let him. If he wants to use his energy to hype you up, that's his problem. I was like, I think we did talk about this, Father. I remember us talking about it. Father came to me at some stage and he's like, oh, your uncle, he's using your experience, your awakening. He's gonna use your awakening spirit. He was giving me update. Your uncle is gonna use your awakening spirit. Experience as his. And I was like, what? So what are we gonna do? Do we have to change anything? He's like, nah, don't worry about it. It's fine. Let him do it. If he wants to use his energy, yeah. Now I remember, Father. If he wants to use his energy to hype you up, it's his problem. I remember that. I remember you coming to me. It's like you came to me and he was giving me update on my mission. So I had to listen and he's like, your uncle is going to use your awakening process and experience as if it's his, right? And I was like, so I thought it meant that we can't continue with the mission. I remember feeling like that's like, so what? Are we going to have to change the mission? Are we going to do something different? It's like, no, we're not. If he wants to use his energy to hype you up, it's his problem. That's what Father does. Father does such things. He would use the devil's way or evil's way or this shenanigans way of people doing things against them. He doesn't waste energy where there's no need to waste energy. He's like, okay, he's already done the sort of like advertisement for you, the marketing. He's already taking care of it, so that's his problem. If he's doing it without telling you or by stealing it or trying to steal your idea, it's him doing it. You never asked him to do that. If he wants to hype you up with his own energy, let him do it. Father said, he said actually, and funny thing is, he told me this when I was here, right here. I'm having a deja vu moment right now. Okay, so the deja vu was me remembering this. No, the deja vu is he is telling me this information while I'm here. When I went to fetch so I went to get some type of an orange kind of a thing. It's not a lemon exactly. What do they call it? It's a citrus fruit from the trees. And I felt very deja vu, but I just didn't. I've not even deja vu. I felt a presence. Father's here. It just felt so familiar. This environment, like what I did today. He was telling me something like this while I was passing there at some stage. He was saying, I was going to remember something. I feel like, no. When I was passing there, I felt like Father has this thing, though. You know how you sense others? How I would sense others? Like how I would sense, okay, Michael comes off strong sometimes. My ancestors sometimes as well. But Father is very subtle. You will feel him only when he wants you to feel him. And even Michael and them, they can be much, much subtle. But I guess when he's coming up, he's like, perhaps something else is up, is there. I'm getting that they come up stronger when there's something around me, or when I'm feeling some way, when I'm not good. Okay. So yeah, the 5D environment is not what people are saying that this world is a 5D environment. The moment you're able to perceive your environment with that deeper dimension, deeper detail, that you're able to see people smirking. Oh, smirking behind you, right? I must think today in my environment, I am able to see, but it's still in the front. But I'm able to see the front only. I don't see. Do I see the back? Let me think. I sense it, kind of. I'm not exactly seeing it like I would see it when I was at home in the 5D environment. It's more like I would have picked up something before I turn that would make me real or make me aware that that person's face is actually changing. But what I do see is what's in front of me, even when I'm like with my head maybe facing down and my family members are like talking with their eyes, that I can see or of sort of like sense, not see but sense. And at the back, I think I sense as well, more like have a feeling that they're probably like stagging. What do you throwing daggers at my back or something like that? That's saying something like that. But in the spiritual world, it's a view. It's a dimension. You just have it. It's there. You see everything around you. You perceive everything around you. You see you see not just with your eyes, but you have access to the whole environment. It's like your what's those cameras that are 360 degrees, same thing. I don't even know same thing. It can't be same thing, but it's like it's not, but it's like you don't turn yourself, but you're facing one way and you're able to have a view and sense of your 360-degree view. So that's what 5D is. So Father's taking me back to 5G. What I don't understand with 5G, okay, they're saying I'm going to understand it when I see it. Ah, what do you mean when I see it? Am I going? I'm not working for those people again, am I? Nope, I'm not working for those people again. Oh shit. No. It's not gonna be a long time. It's going to be. I'm gonna need to do it. Oh man, I knew it. I knew it. I just knew there was a catch somewhere. I just knew it. I'm gonna have to do it for something. I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have a real reason to go, but it's like a short stint. Father's saying it's a short stint. It's not a long term thing. It's like I'm gonna have to go in and see it and then do what needs to be done to get it to work. Man, it's part of my mission. It's part of my purpose. It's it's part of what I should do. It's part of my it's the upgrade I'm bringing in. It's like that block. I have to resolve that block as well. Oh, sometimes you wish you could be paid, Tine, and just be like, I'm not gonna do it. Okay, I get you. You know, funny thing is, I think I have had this. You did give me a vision of me having to work or do something back. I was back at where I used to work. Not exactly there, but I sensed it as in like I felt like I was back at the company that I used to work for. But not exactly. I was in some room, man, and people were talking about something, and I came in there, and then I listened and I listened and I listened, and then I asked and I asked, and then we started looking at something, and then no, maybe I'm imagining it. Was I imagining it? I could have been imagining it. I had a vision, and then I imagined it, or I had a vision. I could have a vision, or I had a dream, and then I had a vision. So that was real. I thought I was just imagining shit. Sorry, things. Hmm. Interesting. I think I have to pause. I need to pause. I need to think about it. This is why sometimes it's a little bit difficult for me to do recordings during the day. You get so many disruptions. But what else can we say about 5D? I was just giving my experience, I think, before I paused. Um, my understanding of the 5D environment is that you have a different, it is a what, 5 dimension, 5D. The dimension is much broader than what you get in the physical. In the physical, it's like you can see if you were to stand and facing somewhere, right? You're able to just maybe see as far as your eyes or whatever, your pupils or whatever you want to call them can turn, right? That is from left to right. You have like 180-degree kind of a view, right? But in the 3D, in the 5D environment, you have a 360 view. You can see both in the front and in the back. And okay, Spirit is reminding me that I was talking about 5G as well. Okay, so how does how is 5G going to be enabling this? All right, Spirit doesn't want me to talk about it. All right, but yeah, um, that view that you have as a being needs to be the technology that you're going to have has to support I see. I see. Okay. Can I talk about that though? When I was doing some recording, there's another recording that I did before. Father said something about 5D also, you need the beings to be ready. You need the programs to be ready. That is, it's not just a technology thing. It's a technology and being thing. It's a technology and program thing. Imagine when you have a view of that kind of dimension, when you can speak to someone um, telepathically, so right, what method of communication would you need after that? You see what I'm saying? It's like you have already that kind of an environment. I mean, you have that, your program is going to be upgraded to be enabled to, you know what they say when they say this TV is, what is it? 4G ready or what 5G ready. Yeah, you as a program needs to be 5G ready as well, right? So I don't remember in the spirit world seeing any type of device. A lot of things were being done and created from a beingness kind of a thing. But I'm imagining that Father doesn't want me to go into detail for some reason. Okay, they said I should stop here. So I'm going to stop here. So you can go and explore it yourself. Um, okay, but that's essentially that. I think what they wanted me to say is that you need to be also five. The beings needs. They did say, Father did say some recording, that the beings are going to have to be aligned in such a way that they are also 5G ready. Else, it doesn't really work that way. The environment first. So it's everything has to be on par. What I'm getting is that this world, what they try to do is to be, they went one way with technology and the other way with the beings. So the beings are separated from the technology. This is why technology is very difficult for us to incorporate in our lives. Isn't like if you have it in set up in such a way that it supports your environment, it becomes a useful thing. But if you implement it in such a way that it doesn't support yourself and your environment, it becomes a hindrance. So, yeah, that 5D 360 view only comes with a being upgrade as well. It's not just your systems, it's not just it's not just your technology that has to upgrade. It's also the being, your program. You yourself as a physical program, physical organic program needs to be able to upgrade it to vibrate high enough so that the remember telecoms, right? Now I'm going back to my telecommunication knowledge, I guess. Let me see if I can tap into that. All of that communication that is happening is a wavelength thing, it's a frequency thing, be it on a fiber kind of a medium or a copper kind of a medium or a radio kind of a medium or a, what do you call it, Wi-Fi? What was Wi-Fi? Wavelength? I don't remember those acronyms, what they stand for. Whatever wavelength, even if it's a satellite, there's a frequency that is being transmitted, be it on a cable, on the air. You can use your air as a medium. You can use you can use your air as a medium. Cables, air. I don't remember the other ones. I think they were just that. That is, you can actually use a physical medium or you can just transmit it in the air. right? But now you're going to be a being that can transmit yourself as an antenna. You can transmit information into the environment. But how do Father? Okay, I think I'm gonna have to drop the subject here. Because I'm gonna go into that solve mode. Father says I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna know when I see it. I'm gonna know when I see it. So okay, fine. Anything else, Spirit? Because I'm gonna go into that. You know, I'm going to go into that. I'm gonna go into that solving of that process. Why am I imagining someone else? Why are you sending? Am I gonna work with him again? It would be an honor. It would be an honor. Hence, you said the people. But he wasn't there when I worked on 3G. Exactly. Okay. Oh, goodness. Then it means I'm going to be. Oh, goodness. No. Oh, my God. I was trying to keep away from all the people that I knew before so that because I'm not going to be able to, I don't want to have to go to this one in, this one out, this one in, this one out. But now going back there are some people that are kind of like really gelled well with, but they also come with some sort of a link to some kind of not so in kind of people sort of way. But they're saying I need to be open to my program, the way I am, who I am. I need to be able to. I did say I will work with who I need to work with, as long as even these karmic people. Um, I'm actually getting an opportunity to do something right now as I pause this video. I mean, this recording, I had to go into something, but I know where spirit is taking me, so it's fine. Um, yeah. What else there? What else is there? 5D is not such a big deal, I guess. No, it is a big deal, but it's not like a big topic. I'm kind of like been doing these very long recordings and they're exhausting me. I'm very tired. They're saying I'm almost there. Okay, I hope so. So yeah, I think that is it with 5D. Anything else do I remember? If I remember what the environment looks like. The spirit world. So 5D is essentially what you would get in your spiritual world. And more. They're saying and more. So it's different. The universe as a whole is upgrading. Remember, there are beings, there are planets which are already operating in a 5D manner. It's just Earth is behind. So, Father, I'm sensing you seamlessly today. Why? There's something different with my communication. It's very smooth. It's smoother. It's 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 smoother. It's seamless. Like I realized when I recorded in some of my recordings before, I used to sound more and more like I'm cutting kind of a way. But since yesterday, I am feeling a little bit more smoother. I don't know why. I feel like I am just it's not chopping. It's like before I felt like I was being like but now I feel a little bit like it's like I'm talking. I'm just talking normally and I'm smoother. I'm getting smoother. But I know I'm only noticing it yesterday in the evening and also today. Now, today when I started recording this, and it's interesting because I'm feeling smoother. It feels smoother. And it's like there's no noise. Is that what it was, Father? Like there was more noise. The environment is getting more stable, more stable, more stable because of less noise. They're not they're not throwing as much of interference towards me. Okay. All right. Okay. So, yeah. Sorry, I just had to like say something like that, note it down somewhere in the recording or somewhere. And so I don't think I was just thinking just before we stopped, I had to pause. I was thinking about the vision that I had. I wasn't sure if I was having, but I thought I was in a different company. Yes, I was in a different company when I was having, I thought I was imagining that. That was not a telecoms company. Okay, the infrastructure kind of companies. Okay, all right. I'm getting that it might not just be, it's not gonna be just, it might not, it's not gonna be just telecoms, mostly infrastructure type. Okay. I remember being busy, man. I remember being busy moving from one place to the other. I remember that. Like this is why I was like, I remember coming out of my old kind of workplace and I was walking with a group of people and it felt like we were busy. We were going somewhere else again. Like we are going between places. That's what it meant. Like I was going to be busy. Okay. But it doesn't feel like it's anytime soon. Okay. It's not, for me, soon is like in a couple of weeks, right? But then for spirit, soon is like 3 years. We always fight about this. It's like they make it seem like soon, and you think, oh, yeah, soon. Father works on a very much timeline base, isn't like it's probably in the timeline that is in the sacred timeline, in my sacred timeline. That future is just like there. It's the next thing that I'm gonna do, or maybe the next or third thing that I'm gonna be doing. The sacred timeline shows it like that. That's the timeline that it looks like, right? But for me, in this physical environment where there's time involved, I'm counting it as soon being like, oh, maybe like 2, 3 weeks. Okay, 3 months time. Okay, 6 months time. Okay, 3 years. Every time when father used to come in and give me updates, especially where the mission was changing and I had to do something extra, you're gonna have to do this, you're gonna have to do that, you're gonna have to, and I'll be like, how long? How long? That was my question every time. He'd be like, no, it's gonna take 6 months. And I learned that most of these things take like a roughly 6 months. Like even here, it was 6 months. Me staying here, it was about 6 months. But then when there's one thing that I had to do for specifically father wanted to be defragmenting something to do, can I say? Okay, I will say it some other time in a different recording. Yeah. All right. But anyway, I don't think I want to push it anymore. So thank you, Spirit.